1. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Louis Brightraven. I'm your host, Louis Brightraven, 29-year veteran writer, artist, and editor of comics, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And today we have a guest in the house, all the way from the UK, creator of Beast Hunting, Battle Badgers, Mr. Steve Sims.
Hey, hi Lewis. How's it going?
Doing okay.
All the way from over the pond in the old UK.
Yeah. Where in the UK are you?
I'm in Taunton, which is down in the southwest.
Okay.
So if you were to fly into London and then just go west for as far as you can go, down into the deep, dark areas of Somerset, where they drink the cider, you'd hit Taunton, and you'd probably think, why did we ever leave London? Let's turn around and go back.
Wait, we can't. There's too much sheep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They surrounded us. Help, badgers!
Yeah. Which of those many country roads did we go down? We've got ourselves lost. We just had to live feral amongst the sheep.
Yep. That's the next thing. The evil clan of ninja sheep to fight the badgers or something.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the inspiration with the battle badgers is the wilds of the southwest of England. Hedgehogs, badgers, all those wild creatures.
Okay.
It's about as wild as it gets here in the UK.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this series and what it's about.
Well, Beast Hunting Battle Badgers is about two brothers whose family have been magically captured by a strange moon mystic. It's kind of like a weird spiritual demon thing. And they set out on a quest to try and locate this creature and rescue the rest of their tribe. So it's very much just them going on little adventures, fighting giant beasts in order to rescue their tribe, get back with their family, and have a few dust-ups on the way. Mm-hmm. A good sort of fun, fancy adventure, very much inspired by things like Asterix and Ninja Turtles, Dungeons and Dragons, all those things that I always loved growing up, a big inspiration to me. I thought, let's cram them all into one thing, and it was Battle Badgers.
Yeah, it's very clear that it's emphasis or influenced rather by the Turtles, but I mean, it's not just Turtles. I mean, there was a whole anthropomorphic 80s comic scene. It wasn't just Turtles. I mean, Usagi Yojimbo was there. Things
like Bucky O'Hare and
Bucky O'Hare, Dalgota.
Samurai Penguin, and they pretty much did everything, didn't they? Except for badgers. I thought we better fill that hole. It's time for some badgers. Although there is a comic called Badger, but that doesn't seem to be about any badgers.
No, it's not about badgers. It's about a crazy person who decided to be a badger superhero. But that's always been quite the interesting thing with these characters and times. We do a lot of looking back in that era.
Yeah, I loved all that sort of indie 80s weird and wacky stuff. And I think the Turtles just sort of summed it up so well when Eastman and Laird brought out their comic, which was kind of a love letter to Daredevil and Frank Miller's Ronin. And it was just off the back of that wave of wacky creature comics. And yeah, I was such a huge fan of that whole scene. And
Yes.
the sort of do-it-yourself, black and white, self-published comics, that was always a huge favorite of mine. As much as I liked sort of Spidey and Batman and the more colorful Marvel comics as well, but going through those back issue bins at Comic-Cons or in comic shops, it was always the weirder stuff that I liked.
Okay. Very fun stuff here. I mean, I just barely got into it, as you guys can see. I meant to read it last night, and I was just so wiped out from doing other things that I only got through the first chapter. There are 6 chapters collected in this volume. Let's go ahead and take our bookmark out and show where I'm at. They have just been captured and arrested by townspeople, even though they have saved the town from a dragon.
Yeah, they did their best. They did. I mean, they may have tried to peel for a bun or two, but when the dragon attacked, they saved the town, and they thought, well, surely we'll get a thumbs up for that. But nope, guilty in the slammer, and off they go. So.
Yeah. Well, now it's not just. I look at it this way: they kind of got blamed for the dragon being there because he swallowed that whistling type device.
Yeah, like the little ocarina.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like thinking. I haven't gotten any. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm kind of like thinking she was a plant there to try and draw it there with it.
Well, the ocarina is quite a big part of the story, and it does come out later on and play into it. But yeah, I can't say too much. Not any spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
Find out for yourself.
Now, I got a bunch of extra stuff besides the book from the Kickstarter campaign that I ordered him from Steve. Let's go ahead and pull that back a little bit. This is original. This is 8.5 by 11, right?
Yeah, roughly A4 sort of size. Okay. Yeah, it's ink and Copic wash. That's Lawson, the tortoise mage.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yes. I was like, yes, turtle mage. I'm gonna have to pull him out.
Yeah,
bring him up.
He's
close.
Named after Jim Lawson, one of pretty much my favorite Ninja Turtles artists. Always loved Eastman and Laird. They were the original guys. But then when they got too busy, because they were making millions of dollars, they brought in quite a lot of other artists to take on the work and take the Mirage side rather than the Archie side, and the Mirage side forward. So you've got people like Steve Levine, Ryan Brown, Jim Lawson. These
Michael
artists.
Dooney.
Who, sorry?
Michael Dooney.
Yes. Oh, Michael Dooney. Gosh, yeah. Michael Dooney's work's brilliant. But yeah, those Eric Talbot as well. Those artists, I love those artists. And Jim was always my favorite.
That's cool.
So it's a bit of a nod to Jim, the old tortoise mage.
And of course, we also got a bunch of prints. A sticker set. These are the brothers. Which one's which again?
So Flint is the one with the hammer, and Laird is the one with
the swords.
Yeah, he's got the bracken blades, and Flint has the hedge hammer.
Okay. And then we got these cool color prints.
Yeah, the Night Beast, the mysterious winged Night Beast, is a character who comes into it later in the book. Again, no spoilers, spoiler alert. A nice full-color picture of Lawson, tortoise mage, pondering through some old mystic books. And the battle badges themselves just looking all moody. They don't tend to look that moody in the actual comic themselves. So I thought let's go full moody with the painted picture.
Yeah. Were these done for covers or just paintings?
They were done for. So I've got these are the individual issues we have here. So I'll put these in order if I can. There's 6, 4, 5, and 3 on top. So we have book 1. Yeah, I'll try and do that.
Okay.
And there's always a painting to go on the back as well. Awesome. So that one was the back painting for issue 5. So that was issue 5. Bit of a showdown in the village, and then there'll be a back painting with a little speech bubble saying, "Hey, check us out on social media," that kind of thing. So each one on the back has its own. So there's the tortoise mage.
Are these traditional or are they
digital? Yeah, they're all digital. I used to work in acrylics at uni and earlier on in my career, but then when the digital side of things came along, especially living in a flat as well, it's so much easier to just sit there with a Wacom and an undo button rather than trying to get your canvas out and realize you got it wrong and wait for it to dry and repaint it over. So digital is just a godsend, really.
Okay, here's another one with the Shriek riding the Night Beast.
Yeah, which is the back cover of the collected volume.
Okay.
So I just love those, trying to make it a bit like a movie poster. You know, those really, really nice 80s movie posters you get with really good compositions. I was just trying to nick a bit of that idea and get inspiration from Drew Struzan. Never ever be as good as Drew Struzan as an artist, but I can look at his work and try and steal some ideas.
I caught something here. You see how you've got the detail there?
Ah, yes. Oh, right. There's the eagle eye. Maybe. Oh, no, I'm going to pretend there's a reason for that. You spotted it. You've spotted the secret Easter egg that secretly means something. And those runes are all through the collected volume. And if you can decipher those runes and let me know what it says, you get a special secret prize.
Okay.
Well, you did say
I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to come up with something.
So, yeah, you did say you've done quite a lot of editing. Now, that's an editor's eye to spot that.
Yeah.
And that's the cover for issue 2, which I should have here. As you can see, the logo and everything in place.
Right.
So you're just about to get to that sort of scene, that point in the book.
Yeah.
As they make their way towards the Chasm of Carnage. I don't think it's too big a spoiler alert to give you that name, but
yeah, that's a nice set of prints here, and they're nice thick cardstock. Actually, a little bit thicker than cardstock, more like photo stock.
Yeah, they came out really nice, actually, nice and punchy. And I do like getting into the painting side of stuff. What I would do is plot out the next issue, pencil and ink the next issue, and once it was all drawn and I was putting in the speech bubbles and everything, then I would set aside some time to do a painting for the cover and a painting for the back as well. Just important to try and keep a schedule so that everything rolls along nicely, because I'm just doing it in my own time. I've got to make sure that I, try and stick to my own deadlines and things, really, and set aside a nice bit of time to produce the paintings as well as the internal art.
Was this your first foray into comics, or have you done things before?
Well, I started off with regards to the comic side of stuff. I started off doing children's annuals here in the UK. I don't think these aren't really a thing in the States. I don't think annuals like this. So
no, we don't have thick book annuals like that. No.
Well, as we approach Christmas, the licenses that were popular at the time, if it's like Action Man or Ninja Turtles, they would produce a hardback book kind of for the Christmas market that your mums and dads would buy and put in the stocking for the kids. And so inside we have some of the stories are full page. This story was actually based on an issue of the Mirage series called The River, written by Steve Murphy, which was one of my all-time favorite comics. So when this came through to the studio and they said, we want you to do this one, it's like, awesome. I totally geeked out. And then also, as well as the full-page stories, we have some sort of panel work stories in there as well.
Wow.
Where Donnie gets captured and turned into a robot version.
Is that all yours or a combination of people?
No, this is all my stuff in here.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
do you have any of those?
No, I don't, I'm afraid. I've got this one copy left.
Yeah, right, for your own stock. That makes sense.
I think, actually...
So what year is that? The 2006 UK
2006.
Annual? 2006 UK Annual.
Yeah, actually, I just flicked through and I noticed that my mate that I work with in the studio, he did the story at the very back. So his name's George Flint.
Okay.
Very good friend of mine, very good artist. And Flint is actually named after him. So okay. Flint the Badger is named after George. And so he did some of the panel work in the back. So we worked on the whole book together, which was really good fun to do. Really good. And then, like I mentioned, the Action Man as well, which has got some full page stories in there, but also there's panel work in there too. And other than that, I did some work in this comic called Kaiju Lands, which was for Wonderverse Comics. I don't think they hung about for too long, but they knew that I like giant monsters and things because of some of the self-published stuff I did. I did this self-published book called Kaiju, which is
the annual, that Turtles annual, because I've got some major turtle fans that are not watching right now, but they're gonna, when they see this, they're gonna want to know.
Well, how much was it to buy in the shops?
I don't think it was. Was it available in the States?
No, UK.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's the publisher so they can hunt it online?
Oh, the publisher was Pedigree Books.
Okay, it was Pedigree. All right.
Yeah. Now these annuals would come out in this year, 2006, and then they would go off the shelves just after Christmas. Very much a yearly thing. So you could probably find copies of this on eBay for pretty cheap, I would imagine.
Well, let's see what they are here. That's what I'm doing. I'm going. Actually, it's only $8.88 on eBay right now.
Very nice. Yeah.
So that's not bad.
Not bad at all. I do. If I ever post anything like that on my Facebook, showing the Ninja Turtle stuff I do often get people from the US saying, "Oh, have you got many of those? Can we buy one? Can you send me one?" I say, "Well, I've got my copy, but I think the best bet is to look on eBay for the others." Yeah.
But eBay or I go hunting everywhere, so I'm looking for stuff because you probably know how bad Diamond is as a distributor.
Yeah, I've looked at them from afar and heard quite a lot of things, and I've just never wanted to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Especially with stuff from the UK. Before the show aired, I was showing him some of my books I haven't gotten around to reading yet, and I showed him Orbital by Cinebook, which is based in the UK, so he was familiar with that line. I had to order those direct from Cinebook and have them shipped from England because Diamond couldn't get them for me.
Right. Okay.
And it was like, really? You got them listed in your catalog. We don't have any in stock and we can't get any. Then how come I can make a phone call and have it sent to me in 3 days? But you can't get it. I can get it.
Well, the main thing I know about Diamond is the extra charges and the kind of stranglehold that they put on Mirage Publishing towards the end, which made it did make it impossible for Peter Laird to carry on with Volume 4 of TMNT. And I was just like, oh, curse you, Diamond! You've killed my favorite comic book. That later run that Pete Laird was doing in like 2007, 2008, that whole Volume 4 story, it was just brilliant. But even somebody like Pete Laird with Mirage Studios was finding self-publishing so hard to actually make any money. Yeah. Because of the distribution model, which is crazy.
Well, I think that's partly the industry's fault as well. I mean, we'd never had to go Diamond exclusive. It was just certain retailers got lazy.
Yeah.
Before Diamond, we had 20 different distributors, and everybody used at least 3. And then when Diamond monopolized, they were like, well, I spent so much money through Heroes World to get my Marvel stuff. I really can't buy anything but stuff from Diamond. Then, of course, Heroes World went bankrupt and was absorbed into Diamond, more or less. And so it was like, okay, now you got everything at Diamond. So what about all the stuff that Diamond doesn't even carry? Why don't you open, let's rebuild the distribution? And nope. Which is basically why everybody's gone exclusive to the crowdfunding and the print on demand in more recent times, is because it's, and then the retailers get mad. Well, I can't get the book. Well, whose fault is that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, you push people away, and they then have no choice but to just promote stuff themselves. And then with the internet, it means you can promote whatever you've got to whoever you can get the attention of. And I just think it's a much better way of doing it. Just get out there and create it and show it to people, and just try and build it up that way.
Yeah. How has COVID affected you guys over there in terms of like conventions and appearances and stuff like that?
Yeah, COVID totally sucks one. Yeah, it shut down all the conventions. It's, it's so hard for anybody to plan any conventions, because even though things are supposedly almost back to normal here, or well, from the government's point of view, and saying, go and do what you do, it doesn't mean that the rug couldn't be pulled out from under people a week before everything's supposed to go. So someone's going to invest that money and do all the promotion and get everybody lined up, ready to go. And then all of a sudden they say, sorry, you can't.
Yeah, sorry, Omega Virus showed up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and they've suddenly lost a couple of grand, and
well, a couple grand for the individual, for the showrunner, more like a couple $100,000.
Oh wow, yeah, definitely, yeah, with
the size of the show.
But there are ones that are planning to go ahead over, like the next couple of months or so. But I'm viewing them from afar, thinking, well, I'm interested to see how that goes, because most of them, as soon as you get up to a week before, they suddenly say, actually, we've looked at the regulations and we've realized it's not as good an idea as we thought it was. And things are sort of stopped. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's a real shame, because the con scene and the indie scene, we very much draw inspiration, and we sort of stoke the creative fire for each other, seeing what each other are doing, and all meeting up and buying each other's books and just having a laugh. And that gives you enough sort of energy for the next one, and you just sort of go along from con to con like that. So at the moment,
most of us are stuck at home working, doing this stuff in our offices or our studios, and nobody sees this stuff. It's like, you're the young student apprentice of the wizard, locked in the room studying your books for months. You get to do one spell, son. Do it right. And then when you get to a con, you're getting all this creative energy fed back to you from everybody else's stuff that you don't get online as much. That's why I try to do stuff like these, and let people see people's work and let people see how they work. But people have to choose to watch it too, Oh
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can take stuff to a con and people might just walk straight past your table. So it's kind of
I don't know how it is over in the UK, but conventions are more like cosplay parades now.
Yeah, it has got a bit more like that. It's more like Funko Pop conventions now. Like every 5 Funko Pop tables, there's a comic table. But really, I think whatever draws the people in, whatever the people are interested in, be it manga, Funko Pop, cosplay, whatever, I think there's room for everything there. People generally come to these things.
It's just, can people respect everybody? And so, how do I put this? It's when a bunch of people stand in front of your table and block your table while they take selfies all day.
Oh yeah, Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that we don't care for.
Yeah, well, that I think that's down to the organizers really.
Yeah.
You have your cosplay area, you have your sweets and your Funko Pops area, and you have your artist alley area. So I think if people can realize that's what's going to happen, you'll have lots of people all getting together and meeting up for the cosplay. Would just try and keep them mainly in a certain area, and they're gonna wander through the tables. Fair enough,
right?
But
if they wander through the tables, make sure your costume has pockets.
Right.
Nothing like having a person go, "Oh, I love your work. Sorry, I can't buy nothing. No pockets." It's like, yeah. I'm just like, just because the superhero doesn't have pockets in their costume doesn't mean you have to be dumb. Make your costume correctly. or they have stuff like their Deadpool, and I'm like, yeah, you got that lovely utility belt on. Why don't you put some coin in one of the pouches in the utility belt?
Yeah, well, I'm sure Batman's got a little, credit card and some coins in his utility belt somewhere.
Yeah, you'd think, but they never seem to.
Well, quite a lot of the time at cons, people will come,
What it is, they don't want to carry a bunch of stuff with them. They want to have the freedom when they're getting their pictures taken. They don't want to be loaded with all.
Yeah, but quite a few times they will look at my stuff on my table, and then at the end of the day, I'll see them come back and come to buy stuff, and they've still got like the face makeup or the head stuff on, but they've changed out of everything else, and it's like, oh, it's that person from earlier that was a giant Pikachu or was a something from Bubblegum Crisis. That's actually a real person in there, and they've come back to actually buy stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, when they do come back, it's nice. It's when they parade by your table 50 times in the day and never.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still have no money. Yeah, no shit.
You can also get the thing where your table is just down from somebody way better, and everyone's queuing in front of your table to go and look at their stuff. And it's good because they look at your stuff, but that they're saving their cash for that guy down there. But that's just the way it goes. Sometimes
it works the opposite for me. Usually they go to the guy who's better. They want way too much money for what they do, and then they go, I'm a divorcee dad with 4 kids, and I can't afford that. And I'm like, what do you need?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And they'll go, well, but he's not as good as that person. Oh, you think not, huh? Yeah, okay, well, what do you like about his work or her work or whatever? And they'll tell me, I said, now watch this. And I pull out a blank paper and emulate that artist's style and right in front of them and say, who's the better artist now? You are, sir.
That's good. Yeah, well, flexibility of art styles, that is a huge bonus with regards to, producing art for anybody. If you can copy art styles.
It isn't, because a lot of the companies like to pigeonhole you into one style and control your career that way. They'll sit there and say, well, you can do that, but you're not as good as that person, or they want to pay you so low for doing that style under them that it's not worth your time. So it's a double-edged sword in a way there, but
definitely.
This is all in black and white, and was that because of the cost of printing that you chose to go black and white, or?
It was mainly because I love old black and white comics. Okay. I love the Eastman and Laird comics. I love
that's totally justifiable. I love that.
Pretty much everything that Mirage produced, I used to like. Seeing the black and white artwork. I think as well with black and white artwork, you can see more of the actual rendering and the style in there. Color is fantastic. Color will make it pop and jump out of the page, but I think it distracts sometimes from the actual line itself. So when you see something that's just really, really nicely drawn and it's simple and black and white, like Usagi Yojimbo, like Stan Sakai's work, or Elf Quest, the line work in that. When I saw that, that's what I wanted to lean towards. And of course, there's time and money as well.
Right.
So I knew I needed to produce, or I wanted to produce an issue every 8 to 9 months. It's pretty much one issue a year, because I was doing it in my own time, 1 day a week. So I thought, realistically, the schedule I have, I can produce black and white comics, a color cover, and write them and do everything in that time scale. If I then wanted to color it on top, you'd have to add, another 8 months or so for each issue.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Makes sense. John Norris, who's one of our regulars and turtle aficionado, says hello. He's just popping in for a few minutes between work and getting ready to go to his second job. He's musical director for theater locally.
oh, cool. He's a big Turtles fan, is he?
Oh, definitely.
Excellent. What his favorite Turtles artist is?
Oh, geez, I don't know which one is his favorite anymore. But we were just talking about his work for the Pedigree annuals. He did the 2006 annual, John. So you're gonna have to go hunt that down and get that from him, or not from him, but by him on the internet. Show him that book again, real quick.
Yes, we'll see if I can find it. I did one the year before as well. This is in 2006. I did one in 2005. So I've got there's another copy around somewhere.
All right. Yeah. So we'll have to look that up and get him that.
Yeah, the thing with Turtles fans in general, they seem to be very completists when it comes to being collectors.
Well, at that time, 2006 was a little bit before he got married, so he might have it in his collection, he might not. But that is the UK stuff, so who knows for sure. But,
it's quite rare for to see stuff produced in-house by another publisher. Usually with these annuals, you get a lot of stuff supplied. So if it was a Pokemon annual, you'd get all the screen grabs from the Pokemon cartoon, and they would be placed in along with the story.
Okay,
so
he's corrected me. He says I wouldn't say I'm a big Turtles fan, but I do like them.
I'm sure he likes Badgers better. Or he will as soon as he sees them.
Yeah, he's gonna have to stop by the house and take a look at the book, but because he's local, but to me, but yeah, he's actually more of a Transformers guy. But
God, I love those Transformers.
You can't draw those though, right?
Yeah, I actually did do some Transformers work. I've got it here actually.
Oh, geez, there we go. See, I knew I was gonna find him something.
This was for the quite recent animated series. I did all the artwork for the packaging, the toy packaging, and this was a sticker book. This was one of the many things. Let's see if I can find some of the stickers in here. So they're all over the shop because it's a sticker page. I had to do all the poses of the different characters in action poses of the stickers. So it was kind of like building up a bank of style guide art, really. So they would send through the designs of what they would look like, sort of stood straight and then to the side, and then I'd have to put them into, kick-ass poses, and then that was used for things like birthday cards and stuff like that. So just generally through my work through Pedigree and the studio I work for now, which is Dynamo, I've done like pretty much all sorts from Noddy, Transformers, Action Man, like when things come out and they're popular and people want lunchboxes or sticker books or whatever.
Yeah, you can do a lot of licensing art.
Exactly, and they come to us, and this comes back to what you were saying about being flexible with your drawing styles. They come and say, "We want these. Can you draw these?" It's like, well, send me a few turnarounds, and I'll just work from there, and slowly adapt into that style. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to take time out and do my own thing, is because I was spending so much time working in all these other styles, emulating other people's work. It's like, actually, I just want to sit down and see what comes out naturally. And that's when I started to do self-publishing. I managed to carve a little bit of time to do my own thing. And after a couple of titles, I showed the Kaiju one earlier, but also another one I did called The Worm and the Whale, which was based on a old Northern English folk tale. I was like, okay, those are cool. Those are standalone little stories,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to move towards having my own characters. And that's when I started to come up with these fancy different characters and things, and looked at Ninja Turtles, my love of that anthropomorphic stuff. And I thought, okay, I need my own creature. And then one evening, very similar to this one, there was a noise out in the back garden, and I looked out, and there was a badger trying to climb up on the ladder. It was hung on the wall, trying to get at the fat balls that the birds eat. And it sort of heard me, and it looked around, and I saw the markings on its face, and I saw the stockiness of its body, and I was like, that's it. That's what I need. That's my hero, a battle badger.
Yeah.
And from there, I just got my sketchbook, wherever that's gone.
Yeah.
I did have it to hand here somewhere. But yeah, I just started to sketch up all sorts of, oh, there it is, down on the floor where it belongs. I started to sketch up all sorts of badgery poses and early drawings. So there's a couple of very early Flint and Laird pictures, a bit more rendered, a bit more stocky, a bit more beefy. And I thought, no, actually, I want to move away from the big and sort of muscular. I need to move more to like the animated style. Mm-hmm. So we get different approaches to drawing the battle badgers. But yeah, just all sort of stemmed from there. My sketchbook commuting down to the studio in Exeter, and then in here we've got all of the thumbnails for the first issue.
Oh wow!
Stuff.
So you really did nice small thumbnail stuff then. Go back.
Yeah, these are actually quite big for my thumbnails. The first issue was thumbnailed in this sketchbook, and then after that, all the thumbnails were done for the other 5 books in this smaller travel sketchbook. So this was just.
I realize they're thumbnails, so it's a little, but.
And so the thumbnails in this one are. Let's try and get the camera right. There's that page that you showed a second ago.
Yeah.
Thumbnail. Oh, it's a bit bright with the light.
There we go. Yeah.
Trying to do things in reverse.
Yeah.
But in general, they are they're all this size.
That's kind of cool, though, that you can do it that small and do it that detailed, that small.
So I could flick this, and it's
that's like 5. What is that? 5 by 7, roughly.
Yeah, very much so. So this is.
Yeah. See, now one of these days you're going to be able to sell that for like $10,000, $15,000 for the original thumbnail book.
After the 4th Pixar movie and the 300th Battle Badger toy.
It's a
we can all dream.
I'm surprised Nickelodeon hasn't seen this and said, "Hey, we need this."
Everybody says that, but they have so much other stuff to deal with. Maybe one day I'll knock on their door and say, "Do you fancy this?" And they'll probably turn to a vault and say, "Put it on top of all the other 1,000 ideas that we've got to go through."
Yeah. Those are very detailed thumbnails. So, but you got to realize he's probably scanning those and blowing them up or are you doing that from the thumbnail?
No.
You're actually just drawing them on the thumbnail and then looking and then blowing up the eyeball? Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, right, okay, what page are we on today? Okay, so it might be that spread there. And then that's 2 pages, 20 and 21 of book. Right. I think that might be the end of book 5. Yeah. I got my 2 pages out. I just have it there next to it. I just start putting in the panels, and it's about shape and composition on the actual page, so I know the page flows properly. Right. So as long as I know what sort of shapes I need, so it all flows as a page, it's just a case of then putting those shapes in loosely on the actual page. I'm not sure, but I think I might have. Yeah, I do actually. So there's the thumbnail there. Doing this all in reverse. Yeah. That page 20 there where it says poof.
Yep.
And then is the original page there. So it's just looking at what I've got in the small and then thinking, okay, just need to place it on the big page.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't do their thumbnails quite that well, from what I've seen.
Well, one of the books I've got is a really nice Ultimate Edition of Ninja Turtles, like I think it's like the first 8 issues, nice big hardback. And in there you get scamps and ideas of what Eastman and Laird did, how they put it together. And I've also got Kevin Eastman's autobiography, where he's got a lot of his early sketches and thumbnails in there. Eastman said that Laird would always say to him, you don't have to do your thumbnails this detailed. You can do them a lot more rough. But Kevin said that he liked to, he just sort of had lots of fun with them, and he liked to work out the details and flow that small. So when I came to do mine, it's like, well, actually, yeah, I can see the benefit of that, and I actually do find it fun doing it small like that, as long as it moves quickly. I mean, that's one of my things with producing comics in general, is as long as it feels fun and you can keep it tripping along quite quickly, then that's the way to get it done. That's the way to produce things. Is when suddenly things start to clog up a bit, or you over labor stuff. This page is getting in the way of the next page. It's like, just get things down quite quickly and fun. And if it starts to clog up, or you realize you're spending too much time onto it, move on to the next one and just keep things flowing.
Okay, that makes sense. It does. You can always come back to something that's got you stuck and revisit it.
Yeah, things always seem easier tomorrow. You come back to it the next day, look at that panel and go, oh yeah, I see what I need to do. Yeah. And it's usually just one panel. I don't tend to leave like half a page or anything like that. It'll usually just be one part of a panel. Like, I'm not so sure about that. You come back the next day. Usually it's sorted in the thumbnails. So it's only very rarely do I come to it and go, actually, that panel's not working. It needs to be there, or it needs to be on the next page even.
Okay. Well, that just tells me that you are very good at pacing yourself and figuring out what you want to do visually in storytelling. A lot of people, a lot of modern artists, they're more pinup artists in comics.
Right,
and they can do all kinds of thumbnails and stuff, and then it's like, well, I'm going to put it all together on a computer and slap it together any old which way type thing almost to do, and you can see that the storyboarding and the way they tell their stories is fractured, and it doesn't flow the way it should sometimes. So I think they were taught that way. You learned from a traditionalist standpoint from Eastman.
I think with regards to the flow of actual comics, if I was to say where did I learn from, the main things I've learned from are Asterix, Dragon Ball, the Akira Toriyama series. That was more the way that action flows, the way that a fight flows. And Usagi Yojimbo, that's the way a story is told.
Yeah, Stan Sakai is a master. I mean,
Stan Sakai. And also another one that I really love that I've started to reread is Bone.
Yeah, just
Bone. And those panels, you could take individual panels from Usagi and Bone, and people would look at them and think, well, there's not a lot there. That's quite almost simple, naive in places. But that's not the point. It's how it sits with every other panel on that page. Exactly. And as your eye skims across it to the next page and the next one, all that info is going in. It's very efficient. It's very beautifully drawn. It doesn't need to overlabor things because it doesn't want you to stop. It wants you to keep going with the pace of the page. And so that's
true.
Have
you seen Jeff's new project, Tukey?
I have, yes. Yes. It looks incredible. Well, all his work looks incredible, but the stuff that he's working on now looks really, really nice.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Well, we got 6 issues here with the Battle Badgers. Is this the complete first story arc, or is there more coming?
That is the complete first story arc. I had the story I wanted to tell with the first 6 issues. I know where it's going next, and I know what I wanted to open the world up to deal with, because I had loads of stuff written down. It's all down here in the sketchbook. Like I said, I've got bits of paper with loads of writing on it, like a diary of a madman. Extra sketches for characters and things. But another huge obstacle I think that people find producing their own stuff is having 100 ideas and wanting to put them into one comic.
Yeah.
Whereas instead, put all your 100 ideas to the side and start your comic with your issue 1, and it, like a flower, it will unfold as you do more issues and tell more of your story. It all starts to reveal, and then you can bring all those 100 ideas in. But it needs to naturally unfold and reveal itself.
Right.
So the first 6 issues is very much about us meeting Flint and Laird, getting an idea of the world they live in, the beast they fight, and the problem they've got. And now the story arc that I've got roughed up, and I'm just writing it down into its issues and the way it will be paced is what comes next, and what I want to introduce with the a bit of a bigger world and things.
Awesome. So that will probably be around May of next year. Maybe you might be ready to start kickstarting that one.
Well, it will be the same time schedule as the 6 I've already done. So I will look to produce a book every 8 to 9 months, roughly, like 1 book a year, just because that's realistic. I've still got my day job on top, where I'm doing work for all sorts of different clients with different deadlines and all those pressures. There's no point me trying to speed it up to get stuff out quicker, because not only would the story and the art suffer, but also it would just become such a chore and a pain. And if you want things to live long term, then they have to be fun. Otherwise, you just think, screw this, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of what happened to me in a way. When like I told you earlier, my parents got sick. Before that, I was doing a lot of books, but when I left for a while, that audience left because I wasn't there. They went on to find other things, of course. Yeah. And it's very difficult to rebuild your audience. So
yeah, I think what you need to do is just keep producing things at a certain time, maybe every week or every fortnight, and you just, like a dripping tap, you just keep putting it out there, and after a while people will say, oh, have you seen, or have you heard, have you seen this? And then they think, oh, I wonder if there's a new thing. Oh, there is. And they get used to the idea that a new thing is put up every week or every couple of weeks. And because you're always producing on that day of that week, you're putting the bricks into the house that will be there in 5 years' time. You just have to,
that's what I need to get back into, like you say. I get so, I won't say distracted, I just get so busy with the podcast that I never do my whole thing. Well, I should be.
Yeah, well, a project, whatever it is, writing a book, a podcast, or a comic, you do have to be quite blinkered, quite sort of set, narrow-minded on it. You have to think, okay, there's this much time I've set aside every week. That is the time for that thing. So every Friday, I would look to do 2 pages of badges, whether that's 2 pages of pencils, 2 pages of ink, or once it's all penciled and ink, it'll be like 4 or 5 of tones. And I'd know that I needed to produce that much, and I could produce that much. It was just a case of getting up, same time as I would get the train to work. So be at my desk at sort of 7 in the morning, work through, finish at 5:30 in the evening with my partner when she comes home, and that was badger time. And you just have that set on the calendar, 4 badger times a month, sort of 4 or 5 months to pencil, 4 or 5 months to ink, and put the bubbles in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Works. like you say, that's a good schedule. So you, like you say, you're in the beginning of laying it out and pacing it before you get into the pencils. So
yeah, it's a case of doing the putting down the plot, working out how that plot breaks up into the 6 issues. Then sitting down with your sort of fleshed out synopsis of issue 1 written down, and doing the thumbnails. So I don't think they're in here anymore, but in this travel sketchbook there would be no, it's not in here now, but a folded up sheet of A4 at the start that would have the text, and from that I do the thumbnails for each issue. And you just keep going like that.
You go ahead and show people. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'm not sure if I have any of the text around at the moment, but there's a closer look at some of those thumbnails. And then, so from there, once I've got my thumbnail all penciled out, it's just a case of on the Friday, because these will be done on the train as I commute to work. So I'd have about 20 minutes or so. I try and get as many of these done as possible. So, one every 4 or 5 minutes. So you're looking at hopefully getting about 4 or 5 pages penciled up in a little thumbnail like that. And when you get to Friday at the end of the week, sitting down with what your thumbnails and starting to work on the originals on the actual pages. So there we have Lawson, the old mage tortoise. What else do we have? I'm investigating some strange stones with runes and relics on up in the mountains. It gets a little bit more mysterious and misty. So like I said, the cartooning side of things was really what I wanted to move towards, because in a lot of my work I was sort of over rendering or putting a lot of detail into it, and it was fun to get into all that detail, but I was finding that my work was getting a bit stiff and my characters were getting a bit stiff. And so looking at asterisks and looking at bone and things like even say ElfQuest, the old classic Andy Pini stuff. There's a lot of movement in there. It's a lot of really nice, efficient drawing and storytelling. So I thought I needed to get that back into my work. So in regards to the shapes of the badges and the way they moved, getting back to that kind of fun, cartoony action was where I realized I needed to be. Also, because it's a quicker way of working. So things trip along when you're cartooning, rather than putting lots of rendering in and worrying too much about background. With regards to movement and the way characters move and the way that panels trip along, moving towards more of a cartoony way of doing things, I realized would be more efficient and fun, and would make things move along at a more doable pace, really.
Yeah, I had to step away for a moment. I apologize for that.
That's all right.
John says, very nice artwork.
Thank you, John.
Like I said, he'll probably get a shot. Look at this book when he stops by the house, and then he'll want one. And
that's the way to do it. That's how you get the word out there. Word of mouth, show people, and they can show their friends, and that's how it goes.
But yeah, how did you sell for I know you had like 220 or so backers for the Kickstarter for this, and I know you got you said around maybe 50 or 60 copies left. Maybe you said of the print run?
Yeah, I think I've got it must be about 60 copies in boxes in the other room. So there is excess stock if people are interested, and I'll get those up on my Etsy store. If people search Battle Badgers on Etsy, then you should be able to get copies through there.
Well, speaking of which, if the page will load, there we go. There we go. We'll do it this
Hey, look at that.
On Facebook, you can find Steve at Beast Hunting Battle Badgers, on Twitter at Battle Badgers, at Instagram on Steve Sims Illustration. Website is battlebadgers.co.uk, and his Etsy store is etsy.com/shop/Battle Badgers. Or as he said, just look up Beast Hunting Battle Badgers and you should find it.
Right. Yeah, check that in Google. It should lead you somewhere towards contacting me. Yeah, just drop me a message on any of those. I shall try to do my best to see it. I tend to check Facebook and Twitter the most, I'd say. Obviously, the Etsy, I'll get the email through if anything is bought on there. But yeah, just drop me a message. Got any info, or we'll just chat about Battle Badgers.
Yeah. This is actually how he does his day.
That was me today after carrying the last 40 books down to the post office. When you get all those orders through for books and Kickstarter, you think, oh, that's brilliant, it did so well. And then you think, hang on, I've got to actually package up and send out all those books myself.
Yeah.
So the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, has been me getting up nice and early in the morning, a couple of hours before work starts, and packing and doing customs forms and stacking them all up.
That's the problem, is the custom forms.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's the real bear.
We got plenty of those right here. Of course, because of Brexit now, anything outside the UK has to have one of these. Even like Northern Ireland and places like that, you've got to slap one of these on there. Yeah, so that's me pooped out after lugging the last lot of books down, getting them sent out, and coming back and be like, oh, they're all on their way.
How fast did you do this? Because you said you did this today, right after you got home.
Oh, today? I'd say that's about an hour, maybe.
Wow. I wish I could work that fast. I'm slow.
Well, it's a byproduct of the studio work as a in-house general illustrator. The work comes in, the budget comes in, and your studio manager says, right, I need you to do that, and we've worked it out. You've got this long to do it, and the client sat there waiting to be pleased, and you think, right, okay, let's go, and you do whatever you can in that time, and doesn't always come out brilliant, but your aim is to produce something presentable within that short amount of time, which then when it came to doing my own stuff, for years I'd been producing stuff quickly. I thought, well, hang on, I know that my skills have got better. I know that I can schedule myself, and I know I can produce stuff within that certain amount of time. So this Friday coming up, I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to do 2 pages. And the next Friday, another 2 pages. And you just apply that studio logic to your own stuff. And you be your own studio manager, and you say, right, come on, get this done. Because if you keep doing this every Friday, before you know it, the issue will be finished. And then before you know it, the second one. And in my head was always like, well, in 3 or 4 years' time, or 5 years' time or so, I'll have 5 issues done. I'll be just about to start issue 6. And then it got to the point where issue 6 was done. And it's like, well, I can put all those together into a nice hardback book. And you look back and just think, where did that time go? Just keep producing it.
Your camera froze on us. Are you there?
And we're back.
There?
Yep,
okay.
We're back.
Okay.
The internet couldn't take it anymore. The internet went to sleep as I babbled on about Battle Badgers. There's not enough bandwidth for something that boring.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I think how well did the retailers back the book, or have you just sold it? Retailers, how have they supported the book for you?
Well, a couple of the local comic book stores. There's one way up the road in Bristol. There's the local comic book shop here in Taunton, just down the road, Crackers. They would stock my comic and sell my comic through the store. Crackers was great. Tony'd always put a little poster that I'd give him in the window. So locally, the local comic book shops have been great, selling my books through it. But with regards to retailers actually, like pledging into the Kickstarter or approaching me to sell the books, it's been more like local and just me dropping stuff off, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. Yeah, when I started back in the year, like I said, I started back in the early 90s, I actually had to do more sales through other businesses rather than comic shops. I would go to hobby stores and used bookstores and used record stores and other places like that, because the comic shops were like, I can't show that. That's black and white. Black and white don't show.
Well, the cool thing about most comic shops here in the UK and the ones that I've been to in the States and Europe as well is that they usually have a little corner for independent stuff, a little rack for locally produced stuff. So they are quite keen to promote. Well,
they've gotten better in America over the years, but believe me, when I started, they were like, no. We don't watch.
They're too busy trying to sell the latest Death of Superman issue or.
Yeah, that was exactly the time they were. It was Death of Superman, Nightfall, Image had just launched. It would be all we ain't got no room for that. That's not going to sell. It'd be hilarious because we'd have the record shop next door to the comic shop, and the comic shop would turn us down, and we'd say okay. And well, hold on, John has to get off to his rehearsal for his play, so he says, "Nice to see you." And best of luck with the Badgers.
Oh, cheers, John. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but back to the deal with back in the 90s was, okay, if you're going to treat us like that, we'll go next door to the music shop and explain how much of a jerk you are to us.
Definitely.
And, of course, the record store would say, yeah, we'll carry you. So we go back onto the college campus and say, if you want to buy our stuff, don't go to the comic shop first. Go to the record store first and get our stuff first.
Yeah, definitely.
And what happens is they go in the music store and they'll buy our stuff. Hey, the new Pearl Jam CD came out. Hey, there's a cool Grateful Dead tie-dye shirt. There's all their money for the comics got spent in the music shop, and they go home with our books and not buy any comics. And it's like, well, you learned your lesson.
Yeah, well, I mean, during that whole 90s boom when it was all Death of Superman and Nightfall and the Image comics and all that, that's when I was scrabbling around trying to find things like Usagi Yojimbo and like the more weird independent, like the Tick, things like that. That's what I really liked.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I was just phasing out of Marvel and DC around that time. I was just getting into the business, doing my own self-publishing. I was doing a little bit of stuff for Marvel as an inker, but not much. But, yeah, I was definitely more indie scene at that point because it was just like, even back then, they were getting too many redundant books. Too many books featuring the same characters and not really telling stories as much as shock and awe event, whatever.
It would be about like how little clothes they would wear and how many pouches you could fit onto the body, really. This character's in a bikini with 100 pouches. All it needs is a machine gun, and it'll be a top seller. It just didn't interest me, really.
Yeah. Well, now I think about it, Quentin Tarantino. What was that? Is it Death Race 2000? No, Planet Terror, I guess it was, where he had Rose McGowan with the machine gun leg. Quentin, old Tarantino, he's got his strengths, but not one of my favorites. No, but I'm just saying he would have fit right in back then in that whole scene.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally understand what he's doing and why he's doing it, but I prefer all the stuff that he's drawing it from. I prefer all like the thing like the old kung fu movies, the Lone Wolf and Cubs, all those stuff that he's watched and is now, churning it out in a new format, which is great. He's good at what he does, but I don't know, just quite like a bit of subtlety now and then.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's kind of true of all of our media, though. I mean, a lot of the modern stuff, it's recycle and more in your face. Recycle, more in your face.
Yeah. Whereas I've taken the Turtles idea and I've recycled it and just haven't thrown it in people's faces.
Well, no, your characters aren't all up in your face with the attitude or anything. They're just there to have, they're not there to have a good time. I mean, but their adventures are humorous.
Yeah, not, it's like
it's not like you're trying to say, hey, Flint and Laird are brothers, but they're also kinky with each other or something.
No, I don't need any of that. I think it's that asterisk thing. It's the idea that the two of them are just wandering out, and if there's a dust up, it's a fun one, and it leads to adventure rather than someone leaping out in a bikini with a machine gun.
That would be an interesting experience, though.
It would. Yeah, it would.
Yeah. I mean, they'd probably look back, go,
if it was ever so popular they made a Michael Bay film of it, then that's exactly when that will happen.
Oh yeah. Well, no, what they'll do is they'll hire Megan Fox to play the female with the shot person.
Yeah, definitely.
Or something like that, and make her. What is she? A fox? I forget.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if there's a actual specific creature. I would say she is sort of her own thing, but yeah, like leaning towards a fox. But the nose is a bit too stubby for a fox.
I was going to say it's a little bit too stubby for a fox, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting though. I mean, do you have any familiar with Mischievous or I'm trying to think of the name of the books. Randy Zimmerman stuff from the 80s?
Is that the saucy stuff?
Pardon?
Is that the sort of Robert Crumb more?
No. It's anthropomorphics.
Okay. No, I don't know those.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what they were called at the time. It's been a while. Let me look real quick here. It's going to have to make me do it. There we go. That's old. Well, that's definitely the older. Tales from the Aniverse. That's what I was trying to think of.
No, I don't know if I know that one. I'll
Okay,
have to Google that one later.
All right, hold on a second. Share it on Wikipedia here real quick. This is from 85 to 91. There were 10 issues.
Oh, okay.
Published originally from the original Arrow comics. Then Weeby and Massive, which were two of Randy's sort of self-published, short-lived attempts. And he also did it again. He brought the character Mischievous back in Flint Comics Entertainment, which was his newspaper comic that he did for a while.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's
weird
pretty cool.
With the whole anthropomorphic thing in the 80s, just when you think you've pretty much seen them all, there's always another one out there that you run into.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of it.
Yeah.
But you know. But yeah, so let's finish up real quick here and get your information again real quick. Again, at Facebook, Beast Hunting Battle Badgers, on Twitter at Battle Badgers, Instagram, Steve Sims Illustration, Etsy store, etsy.com/shop/Battle Badgers, and of course, battlebadgers.co.uk. I want to thank Steve for stopping by. I know it's getting pretty late for you over there. It's probably around, what, 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, I think I haven't got a clock in here. I used to use my computer as a clock, but it must be about 10:30 now.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy. Head off to bed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So again, I want to thank Steve for being on the show, and we'll have to have you back sometime on a weekend where we can have like a live draw or something, and we can watch you draw, and I can draw and have fun with that.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool.
We could draw Lawson or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, love it. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll have to get our other turtle artist if I can get her to come on. We have a turtle artist, Kristen Keeley. Let me show her real quick on.
Oh yeah, any excuse to see other people's drawings and artwork, especially watching them draw live, is just fascinating to see how people do it.
Yeah, I want to make sure I got it right here. It's not showing it where I want it to, of course. Yeah, I hate when it does that. All right, we'll do it the other way then.
There's always a workaround.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not wanting to take me over to her DeviantArt page. That's all. So I just go to my DeviantArt page and get her page up that way.
So does she work? Like on her own comics, her own characters, or is it mainly Ninja Turtle stuff she draws?
She's just getting started mostly, and yeah, she's mostly she's done turtles, but she did this really beautiful character, Miss Frisbee from Rats and Them. I don't know if you remember the old Don Bluth film. She did a print of that John just bought, and we showed that last night. Let's see. There we go. I got her page finally. Okay. Let's see if it'll share the page now. Should share it. There we go.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the sort of very, very modern cartoon. The new oh wow, is that Gargoyles?
Yeah, she's a huge Gargoyles fan too.
Yeah, Gargoyles was a fantastic cartoon. That's really nice. I love that Raph based on the new cartoon style, isn't it?
She actually almost had one of the covers for one of the IDW books. She missed the deadline, and they just had too many covers. They didn't add her to the covers.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but she'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it works brilliant. Love you, Usagi, there as well.
Yeah, her really page nice. I was trying to find the page that is on there, but she doesn't seem to have that one there on the page. Let me see if it's on her Facebook page real quick.
Hellboy and Darkwing Duck.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it real quick here on. Of course, I know you probably saw it. The Mirage Group just mentioned that they're closing up officially as of 19th.
Yeah. Big shame. Huge inspiration to me, all of those guys.
Yeah. I'm trying to find her. See that? That's all that. That's all personal stuff. Let me see if go back a page here. Whoops, that's not the one I want.
I wonder what she's using for color there, because that blue in the top right, really strong, vibrant blue.
Oh, that's marker. That's markers.
Nice.
That was an Inktober sketch that she used.
That was really cool.
Let's see. It doesn't really say, but.
And that little marker she's got next to her name, Shell Sweet, that looks like a character from the IDW run at the moment.
Yeah. I'm trying to find her other page that might have her artwork that I'm wanting to find the local stuff, and it's all the older stuff. I was looking for her the piece that she did for IDW that didn't. She's got a print of it, and I just don't see it. Oh well. Here's here's a I'll have to share a different page, but let's see here. Here's a pen and ink and color sketch. Whoops, wrong page. Okay. Let's see. The silly share page here. It's not fun. Let's see. There we go. That's her. That's not the one that he bought, that John bought, but
that's really nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I'm gonna have to get on her and tell her to get that the stuff that she's got the prints of up on her Facebook page, because I can't find them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, ask her to put them up and then tag me in, because I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Cool.
Alrighty, man. Again, I want to thank Steve for coming on the show again, and once again, make sure you visit his pages. If I can get the page to show again, it doesn't want to, of course. There we go. Whoop. There we go.
Cool.
And how much does the book cost to get the new the trade?
The hardback book is £30, and the postage I think is about £12, 12 or 13. So the postage is kind of the really expensive part. Like most things nowadays, trying to send it out over the world is the most costly thing. But yeah, the hardback book of all 6, and with the additional sketch section in the back as well, is £30. There's a color section at the back,
right?
Various bits. Is £30 on the Etsy site.
And that's about 60 with the shipping for US dollars.
Yeah,
for those who don't know the conversion rate, and that might seem like a little expensive, but keep in mind you are paying quite a bit on the shipping. It's actually about maybe $40 on the actual book.
Yeah, like most things.
You think about this. This is a around a 230-page hardcover book, guys. It's not, if you were to get this in America, if Diamond carried it, they would be charging $49.99 at least for it, if not $59.99, because of the markup. Because they're going to take 60% cut or 40% cut of whatever price, so you'd have to mark it up anyway. And then the retailers have to make a profit. So it would be that cost even if it was available through Diamond. So you're getting it for what it's worth.
Thank you very much, Lewis.
Well,
most things
a lot of people
days
don't understand the economics of the structures between what we do on crowdfunding and versus what's available through Diamond. They don't understand the breakdowns of who gets how much money and why, and this way he gets like 80% of the money instead of 20%.
Exactly. The good thing about doing it yourself and distributing it yourself and Kickstarter and all that sort of stuff, you do manage to keep some money for all the efforts you put in. One of the downsides is you have to put in all the extra effort to pack it and ship it and all that sort of stuff. But when it's something that's personal to you,
if you can get enough people, you can always hire a packer.
Yeah, I'd feel mean though making them do that.
No, you hire a packing service.
Oh yeah, well actually, some people did contact me and say about doing it for me, but again, they want a certain cut and there's that extra complication.
Yeah, but that's true. But I said if you have enough people, enough books to warrant it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm quite happy in my little room with my stack of couple of hundred and a big wad of packing stuff, and it's just another little sort of labour of love to get the book out there, really. Which when it's your own project and it's that close to you, just a little bit extra to get it out to people, it's no chore, no thing.
Yeah. So once again, Facebook, Beast Hunting Battle Badgers, Twitter Battle Badgers, Instagram, Steve Sims Illustration, battlebadgers.co.uk, or Etsy.com shop Battle Badgers. So once again, I'll thank Steve. And if you guys want to reach me, then we got to go for the fun part. The computer that doesn't like me. And you liked this video, or you would liked watching Steve's work and seeing how he broke down stuff, or you think others might, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to continue to get support from and get content from my channel. As always, I thank you all for your support for watching the show. If you want to reach me, Lewis.BrightRaven, Twitter at LewisBrightRave2. You can find me on DeviantArt at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You're watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis BrightRaven on YouTube. If you have questions for me, or you want to commission me for artwork after you've looked at my work at DeviantArt or other places, Quoth the Raven LBR72@gmail.com. And I'll try to do my best to answer your questions on air or send you a private response. And if I don't get back to you, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. And we will be back on Monday, and when my special guest will be Ted Nafee of Courtney Crumrin fame, and we'll be talking about his new book, Witch for Hire. It just came out like a couple weeks ago. And we'll also talk about Chris with The Gift of Wrath, which he wrote with for Oni Press, with art by Warren. I gotta make sure I know. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wusinik. I hope I didn't slaughter that. I'll have to ask Ted how to pronounce that. But we'll be back on Monday for that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.